Hi, everybody. It is Renee and Dee here today, and we are going to be talking once again. I love to talk with Dee. She has so many great recipes, and if you have not signed up to join her recipes group, all you have to do is type in the word yes or recipe, and we will send you a link on Facebook Messenger, and you can join Dee's Facebook group for recipes. It's amazing. So, Dee, how are you today?
I am wonderful. It's sun is shining here in Alberta, Canada. Still -3, but the temperature is starting to climb a little bit, so spring's on its way.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm here in not so sunny California. It's been pouring rain, but the temperatures are definitely a little different in the 60s. But all right, Dee is broadcasting from her office at Redcliff Pharmasave in Medicine Hat, Alberta. And I'm here in Los Gatos, California. So if you are logging on and you are just joining us, would you please send us your likes, your hearts, send us all your love, and share this broadcast so that other people get on live with us. And one of the things we can do, if Dee is open to it, and I didn't even ask her this before the broadcast, but we can actually invite some guests on a little bit later in our show, and they can, be on camera and ask us some questions. Are you good with that?
Sure.
Okay, I'll put a link out there. I think I can put a link out there. Yikes. I don't know if I can put a link out there. I'll try because it would be fun to have some people join us on this broadcast. All right. So Dee and I are going to talk about volumizing. And one of the things that I think I know that with my clients, and Dee, you can tell me about yours, but I'll have clients that come in and say, oh, I don't need to journal because I eat the same thing every single day. Well, guess what? If you're eating the same thing every single day, what is maintenance going to look like for you? Because by the time you hit your goal weight, you're going to be like, I have eaten chicken and broccoli so many times. I need pizza, ice cream, and who knows what else. So,
right.
what
Then you hear the comment.
Tell us what your thoughts are on that, Dee.
Well, I agree with you. I often get the feedback of the comment, if I see another salad, well, you know what? You shouldn't only be eating salad in phase 1. And we're going to always revisit our little rule is that by the end of the week, we want to see 10 different veggies and at least 4 to 5 different colors. That's our goal. That's our aim at the end of the week. And so if you need ideas, whether it's simple preparation or a little bit more elaborate, we're here to help you do that. We're here to help give you ideas, prep and planning and executing those ideas so that we're meeting those goals. Because these veggies, this is the foundation. Phase 1 is the foundation for lifelong vegetable consumption. They need to become an everyday habit. Just you're going to eat them without thinking about them eventually. So that's our goal.
Absolutely. So again, if you guys are just joining us, we're going to be talking about volumizing your food, ways to try new vegetables, to have that, I know for me, I was an overeater. So if you haven't seen me before, I used to weigh 200 pounds, and I've done that 3 times in my life. I've had to lose 65 pounds 3 times in my life. And I was a big overeater. Like I could do, 3 bean and cheese burritos and a pintos and cheese at 1 a.m. And that was like my go-to snack. So Dee has lost over 100 pounds. Tell us what your go-to was, Dee.
Oh, geez. You know what? I was even an overeater of the most healthy food. So even my husband would make comments to me. I would sit down at supper time and, eat the whole bowl of salad. And he would say to me, like, where are you putting that? So it was definitely binging, and I did a binge and almost like a starve cycle, right? So I was always all or nothing, but when I was all, it was all of everything. I couldn't have, if I had a chocolate bar in my house, if there was 4 chocolate bars in my house, by the end of the day, I would have eaten those 4. And, be horrified about it, because I wouldn't let my kids do that. I wouldn't ever tell somebody else to do it, yet I was doing things like this. Or, you know what, okay, I'm going to cut back. And so from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., I'm just going to drink a pot of coffee and not have any food at all. And then all of a sudden, at 4 o'clock, when you're starting to think about what am I going to make my family for supper, I was eating supper while making supper and then sitting down and eating again. And there is, I could probably write a whole book about bad habits, because I've probably had them all at one time, all the way from, and I call, in high school, I went through a phase where I wanted to be skinny like my sister. I wanted to fit her jeans. And so I would drink Diet Coke all day and chew cinnamon gum. And then I would drink Pepto-Bismol before going to a volleyball game, because my stomach hurt so bad. And yet I had to execute sports. Right. So really terrible. If you take a look at, where your bad habits come from, you might be surprised at how far back they really go. Mine went a far way. So it is definitely, it's a journey to redevelop good habits. And it's not enough to know what to do. We have to do what we know what to do. So it's a journey.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, those are, I could go on and on too. My thing is candy. But all right, so if you want to join us on the broadcast and you have some questions for us, you can use Chrome browser. I put a link in the comment section, and you can join us. If you are too shy to join us, then just tell us where you're from, say hello, share the broadcast. And today, like I said, if you want to be a part of Dee's Recipes group, I know it's over 1,000 members now. All you have to do is type in the word recipe or yes, and you will get a message in your Facebook Messenger. All right, Dee, let's talk about ways to volumize your food. So you have that nice, big, hearty plate, but it's filled with things that fit within your parameters for phase 1.
Yes. Yes. I am a big fan of bulking up almost any ideal protein product. And I want to make it really clear that you do not have to. If you prefer to have the packets just on their own, nothing wrong with that. I'm a very visual person though, and I really love presentation. And so if it looks like more to me, I automatically think I'm going to be more satisfied. So I am always thinking of ways to make more volume in my food, whether it's in my oatmeal or in my eggs or in my soups, or, whether it's adding stewed chayote or rhubarb to those items. We have many different ways to bulk up our food. Now, if that sounds appealing to you and you're not too sure how to do it, ask. Just ask your coach, ask us, and we'll do the best that we can to help. So let's say that, you tell me, well, I'm always really hungry in the morning. I can't make it to lunch without needing a snack. And then by, afternoon, I'm out of snacks. What can we do? Let's talk about that. Should we make some, bulk up our pancakes? Should we add an extra egg or an egg white? Should we add some vegetables to those pancakes? Should we make potato pancakes? Should we add some zucchini to those pancakes? Oatmeal is one of my favorite, because you can make oatmeal pancakes. You can make oatmeal cake, muffins, cookies. Add a variety of vegetables to those as well. One of my favorite things to do to oatmeal is simply add 1 cup of stewed rhubarb or chayote to the hot oatmeal, and it makes that entire cereal bowl full of really filling, hearty. It's warm, it's satisfying, it sticks with you. Those types of things to make our food be more satisfying and last a little bit longer. Seasonings to those foods add fantastic aroma, and it also gives you the feeling, a more satiated feeling, when it has wonderful smells coming from it. So, and we can, yeah, and we can get specific. So if there is something specific, ask away, and we will do our best to give you some ideas on how to bulk them up, make them appealing.
Yeah, one of the things. So one of the things I do is I feel like I never learned to cook. I went to boarding school, and then after boarding school, I went to college, and then after college, I started living on my own, and that's when I really started gaining weight. I actually was thin up until after college, and when I started my first business and just kind of got in the groove of having fun and partying with my friends and staying out late. So that's when I gained my first 65 pounds, and kind of between the ages of 22 and 25. So I don't, I go on my YouTube channel and I make videos because I think that we all need to understand. And a lot of my clients tell me, well, I don't cook, or I don't know how to cook, or I eat out with my husband all the time. So number one, we're going to save you a ton of money if you eat out all the time. And secondly, there's little things to learn, and I've learned them on my own, because over time I knew if I wanted to maintain my weight, I had to learn to cook the basics. So I make basic stir fries. I thought, since I was going to get on with Dee, and I know she's got all these rhubarb and chayote squash recipes, that I would do that. So last night I got the Instant Pot out and threw the rhubarb in there, and you can look on the YouTube channel, and it's so easy. You throw it all in there and walk away, and then pretty soon it's done, and you throw it in the blender and puree it. Easiest thing ever. And so tell us, Dee, I know you have certain ways of packaging things up so that they are done in meal prep format, so they're easy to get to. So I just stuck mine in containers in the fridge, but I thought I would ask you today, like, what's the easiest way to store all of this so I can easily use it every day?
Well, my favorite with anything that we stew down to use in recipes, I love to freeze them. I love in ice cube trays, portion them and freeze them, so that if you say you started with 6 cups of rhubarb, and then once your Instapot was done, then you can, whatever is left over, you're still going to divide 6 ways, because you started with 6 servings, then we're still going to divide 6 ways. Rhubarb is I love chayote, but rhubarb is a close second, because there is so many amazing things that you can do with rhubarb. Whether you're using it as a whole veggie, chopped or diced into baking, enjoying it as a side dish, but once you stew that rhubarb down, it makes the most amazing rhubarb jelly pie. It makes great smoothies. You can mix anything into that rhubarb and it tastes amazing. So we did a collagen infusion smoothie the other day, where you can use your Jello and your blue cran, and you're not limited to just the collagen products. Any drink mix that we have is absolutely fantastic, made into a smoothie with the rhubarb.
It is. It really is. Yeah. And with the collagen infusion, and go on to Dee's group, because they posted that. It looks incredible. And remember that in the US, we don't have the liquid collagen product, but if you get a powdered collagen that has no sugar, you could use that instead. So Canada has an Ideal Protein product that is a liquid collagen format. But here's the cool thing about our collagen products: it's a freebie every other day. So for those of you that need something extra, want something extra, it's great for your skin, and you get that extra drink and you throw your rhubarb in it, and it's like having a 4th shake.
Oh, and the volume. So when we're talking about volumizing our food, when you have a cup of stewed rhubarb and you're going to blend it with any of the drink mixes, it makes usually around minimum 24 ounces of icy, frothy goodness. And a large serving. And it's such a large serving that, you know what, maybe it's big enough that you're going to split that with a spouse or a family member and still have another food choice that you could split in half and share. So it's also a way to really open up the scope of type of food that you're eating, get lots of variety into your day as well. It's a great way to sneak that in.
And you know, things like tell us what you do with cauliflower, because I think cauliflower is one of those things that can really volumize your plate, and it can taste different every single time you make it.
It really can, and I've seen it done in so many different forms. And I, of course, have my personal favorite. I don't like it. I like to rice cauliflower and then just use it in stir fries or put my hot meat and veggies over the cauliflower. I don't like it mushy. I like it a little bit firm. It's wonderful in anything. You can also bake with grated cauliflower, your cauliflower snow, your whatever term you want to use for it. Great, like in a potato pancake substitute. Frozen grated cauliflower is absolutely delicious in a chocolate shake. And I had a protocol user say, you know, I tried this, I really liked it. And I said, I asked her, can you please throw that up on your page? And then, of course, I had to try it myself. And I started with small increments just to see how much can you really use before you start to taste the cauliflower or smell the cauliflower, because sometimes those things turn us off a little bit too. We're willing to hide our vegetables, but we don't really want that strong taste. The cauliflower in the chocolate shake was amazing. It was a great start to the morning. And again, it volumized that chocolate shake to the point where it was a great big 24-ounce breakfast drink. It took a long time to drink, and I was full, really full. And for me, that's really helpful. If I know I can have breakfast and it's going to get me all the way to lunch, and I don't have to worry about what am I going to have for that mid-morning snack, especially on busy days, perfect.
Yeah, that how much cauliflower do you end up putting in the chocolate shake?
I pushed the limit. I tried a cup, and I have to tell you, I preferred half a cup in the shake.
Yeah,
but
I prefer a little less too.
Yeah. That one.
This morning I had the rhubarb, and I heated it, and I made a rhubarb hot chocolate. Amazing. So
I have never had it that way.
Melissa says coconut Da Vinci. Oh, okay. Coconut cauliflower rice. How do you do that? How do you make coconut cauliflower rice?
We make a chicken satay recipe, and we serve it over coconut cauliflower rice. And so we have sugar-free coconut flavored Da Vinci syrup, or you can use coconut extract, and you just simply sprinkle it over your riced cauliflower while you're heating it through, and it takes on that coconut essence, that flavor, and it's an amazing dish. Our coconut chicken satay is a favorite. I think it's Melissa's favorite.
Wow, I've never. That's got to be next on my list. Do you have that recipe on your Dee's recipes? Do you have that recipe card?
I do, and any recipes that we talk about today, once we're done, I'll go through and I'll tag them and bring them all to the top so that we can have a peek at them.
Okay, so everybody that's on here, first of all, tell us where you're from. And tell us if you want to be a part of Dee's recipes group. She posts all these amazing recipes, and you get recipe cards that are online that you can print out. All you have to do is type in either recipe or yes, and it will send the Facebook Messenger is going to send you a link to her group to join. So let's go through and just say hi to some people here. We got a group online. There is a link in the comments section, you guys. If there's anybody that wants to join us online and ask questions, come on, be brave. Click on the link. All you have to do is use a Chrome browser and wait in the lobby, and we'll bring you on with us. So, of course, we have Melissa. She is also from Redcliff Pharmasave, and she is the owner of the clinic where Dee is a coach. Jane Pasquale says hello, and Amanda Crooks, hello, Amanda. Let's see, Cindy Doyle, thank you for joining us, Cindy. And Gwen Mazet, tell us where you're from, you guys. Patty is on here, and Cindy is from New Orleans. All right, Darlene Taggart. We have Patty's from Nebraska. And thanks, Debbie. Thanks for following my crazy videos. Okay, we talked about the coconut. Oh, here's what Melissa says. She says cauliflower rice is really good in your pudding, like a tapioca pudding. So what kind of recipes, Dee, would you include the cauliflower rice in to make like a tapioca pudding?
Do you want my honest answer there?
Yes, we want honesty.
I will have to bring you that recipe up from our Melissa's sharing page, not my own personal page, and I will share it from there. The word tapioca and pudding together actually kind of makes me want to go. So
it's not your thing.
It's not my thing. So I apologize. I don't have that one off the top of my head, but we can for sure share it because yes, it's not just about what I like, it's about what anybody might like. So we'll get that for you too.
Okay, so Melissa says that she would join us, but she has no webcam. You don't need a webcam. Get on your mobile phone and you can join us from there. All you have to do is it'll have you download the BeLive app and join as a guest, and I'll see you in the lobby. All right, so Amanda says she's from Iowa. We have Lisa Dunn here from Huntsville, Alabama. Darlene is from Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. Thanks for joining us. And Debbie's from Texas. Cool. All right. So, and wait, Crystal is here and she's from Prosser, Washington. So we got quite a group. So you guys, if you have questions, if you want to know more or there's a specific question you have, throw it in the comments section or use the link online and join us. Okay, Dee, so let's talk about sharing packets with a husband and wife. Maybe you're on this protocol with your partner. How does that work?
It's actually one of my favorite things to do. I'm a big fan of mixing packets and splitting packets. So there are some great options out there, and especially for, it doesn't matter if you are working couples on the go or staying at home. Recipes like overnight oatmeal, it requires 2 packets for the flavoring. You split them in half, 2 servings, you each have breakfast. Egg and veggie casseroles for breakfast. You can make 2, 4, 6, 8 servings. Any breakfast, muffin, pancake, cake. I always encourage to make multiple batches. They freeze really well, but then if you're feeding more than one of you, boom, done. You're one recipe, and you can choose how many portions that you need for the week or for a couple of days. Things like rhubarb jelly pie. That's, again, you're using your Jell-O, so you could either split one pack with somebody else, or again, multiple servings. So many of the recipes I design, they can be used for one serving, but a lot of the time it's for multiple servings. And that's just for when you're putting the time into making something. I always love, while I am cooking something in the oven, I like to have something going on top of the stove as well. So just like you were explaining about your Instapot, you can have your rhubarb stewing down in that Instapot, and what you're going to be enjoying with it in the oven or on the stove. I like to multitask. I like to make many meals at once to get it done. And again, that goes to that planning and preparing. 3 days out is optimal, if at least for 3 days, knowing what you're going to eat. If you have trouble getting your variety of colors of vegetables and 10 vegetable choices in, I posted an egg casserole last week. It's just one small example of what you can do with the eggs, but there was 7 different vegetables in that egg casserole. So you know that if you had a portion of that egg casserole for breakfast, you've already had 7 different varieties of vegetables in there. Yes, it's only a cup at a time, but we're meeting those small goals. The same with adding vegetables to your morning meal. I love doing that, and I love using a select vegetable for that so that you can still enjoy that unlimited list at lunch. I'm a big encourager of, I do believe everybody should eat some form of lettuce every single day. So whether you're having that in a salad form, or if you're just eating a head of romaine lettuce, a leaf at a time with some salt, we're not picky on how you get it in. But I love to see the 4 cups plus the unlimited list put to use every day. Really important.
Yeah, Melissa always says, eat a head of lettuce every day.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome. All right, you guys. So if you're just logging on, tell us where you're from. If you want to join Dee's recipes group, all you have to do is type in yes or recipe, and Facebook Messenger will send you a link to her group. Share this broadcast, let other people know about this. And all right, so Dee, I love the fact, I love the thought of splitting packets up. So you put something in my head when you said I could have my Instapot going with, whatever that is, and then I could be baking something. So, you could make a bread and cut that in half and only have half of it with your meal. And then you could be having, another half of a packet in the form of something else and putting that on your bread, right?
Yes. Yes. Big fan of that. So again, let's use your Instapot as that. You could have a batch of amazing oatmeal breakfast cookies baking. When that rhubarb is done, you can lather that breakfast cookie with a cup of stewed rhubarb. Delicious. Wow. Lunch, brunch, even, mid-afternoon snack. It's a great way. Other ideas that come to mind, and it's because I use them and I like to share them in our clinic. Things like soup and crackers. You can make IP crackers and you can make an IP soup and you can bulk it up, but you can split that soup into 2 and you can split those crackers into 2. So you can either have it for 2 days or, again, share it with another protocol user. Things like that. I love stew and dumplings. Sometimes it can be just a vegetable stew with IP dumplings on it, or a little bit of meat and veggie stew and IP dumplings. Again, there's enough dumplings in 1 serving that you could happily split it with 2. And then you know what? You could choose another packet and split it in half for another little snack, and still just be at your 1 packet volume. So
yeah, you could make tapioca pudding.
Yeah. Yes, you can. No, it's okay. It's the word. There's something about the word pudding that bothers me, and I don't know what it is. But even as a kid, I never ate pudding. And if there was rice pudding in the fridge, like and other people are like, oh, so that's another thing. We can make rice pudding.
My mom would make rice pudding with cinnamon and sugar on it. It was awesome.
And you can make IP rice pudding, and we can show you how to. And that's another thing, right? So we take your base pack of your vanilla pudding, and we can show you how to bulk that up with some zero noodle rice and IP maple syrup. In my opinion, is the kingpin of all sweeteners. There is almost nothing that it doesn't taste good in, and a serving is a 1/4 cup. It's such a generous serving. So the chances that you're going to actually use a 1/4 cup of serving of that syrup at one time, and it is great in homemade teriyaki sauces. It is great on its own, on fish, on pancakes, in baking. It's multi-talented. It's a really multi-talented product.
I agree with that. I agree with that. The other night, I made, actually in my Instant Pot, I made a what the heck did I make? I made like an Asian kind of a, what the heck did I do? Anyway, I made this something. I can't remember. It's on my YouTube channel, but I used a sauce. I made an Asian flavored sauce where I did the apple cider vinegar. I used the Ideal Protein maple syrup. I used Bragg's aminos, garlic, and ginger, and made like a kind of almost like a sweet and sour soy sauce.
Yep.
It was really incredible. And then I put it over over the dish that I was making, and it really was amazing. So Dee, what are other things that you can think of that help as we are cooking and as we are, let's talk about how we share with our families and how we incorporate all of this into, so we're not making 2 meals all the time.
Well, I am a true believer is that you shouldn't be making 2 meals. You're on a healthy lifestyle. Your family around you should also be on that same path. And I'm not saying they have to eat exactly what you are eating, but what I am saying is your protein choice for the day and your vegetable choice, there is no reason why your family cannot be introduced to the same proteins and the same vegetable choices that you are eating. Now, they do say you need to taste something 10 times before you might decide that you like it or not. That is due to your taste buds regenerating every 10 days. So try again. So if you have picky little kids, picky teenagers, picky spouses. I have a picky spouse. I cook cauliflower, nose turns up. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to serve it. And you know what? My 17-year-old cleans me out of a lot of my favorite select veggies. It's true. You want to serve them and you want to keep exposing them to it. I often do get very concerned if a response is, well, my kids won't and don't eat that. So if you're cooking yourself a beautiful piece of salmon and a side salad and some steamed broccoli, but feeding your kids boxed chicken nuggets and boxed French fries, you're creating a food issue within your own home. Am I saying your kids can't ever have that? No, but on a day-to-day basis, we want to teach them and expose them to whole food choices too. It's gravely important because by the time that they're adults, if we think we have a plethora of processed food now, I can't even imagine what they are going to be exposed to. So they need to be exposed to it. They need to see it. They need to be helping hands in the kitchen with you. Let them help you plan your menu. Ask them what they would like to pick from the grocery store and be okay that if they pick something and then they don't eat it, that's okay. Try again. Get them involved. What looks appealing to them? Let them touch it. Let them wash it. Let them smell it. Let them lick it. Let them, if they're old enough, get them food prepping. Get their hands in the sink to wash it. Get them to spin your salad. Chop your veggies. Get feedback from them. Don't fight about it. You know what? Ask them to try it. Ask them to have a bite. You know what? If they say not today, try again tomorrow.
I totally agree with you, Dee, because the way that I grew up, so I grew up vegetarian when it wasn't cool to be a vegetarian. There were no Whole Foods, there were no Trader Joe's, it was uncool. We did it because of the religion that we practiced. And we ate a lot of gluten and soy patties that my mom made. She dipped everything in egg and flour and fried it in Crisco. And then she got vegetables from a can. And by the way, we live in California, but that was, how she learned to cook. And so in creating healthy habits, I didn't do a great job as a mom. Mac and cheese was easy. I ran businesses and a household, and we had, whatever my excuse was, we ate a lot of chicken nuggets from Costco and a lot of macaroni and cheese, which I can't say that I'm proud of. But we do have the opportunity to change those habits for our family and introduce our children to things that are new and fresh, and really try the rhubarb. The rhubarb's amazing, as Dee said. And okay, so I bought the chayotes. I've never ever tried a chayote in my life. I have 4 in my fridge, so watch for YouTube, because I'm going to be throwing that out there. We have a question here from Crystal. And Crystal, she says, what do you guys think of palmini hearts of palm pasta? It has 1 net carb per serving, and my husband found it on Shark Tank. Okay, well, go to my YouTube channel, because I love palmini pasta. Now, remember that this is an occasional vegetable. So there are, in 1 can, I believe there are 6 servings. Each serving is 15 calories with a net of 1 carbohydrate. So you could probably do like 2 servings. And I mean, a serving size is pretty good. So what they are, Dee, I don't know if you've seen them yet, but it's hearts of palm linguine. And I have to tell you, in fact, just before this broadcast, Dee and I logged on just to check our connection. I went downstairs and made a bowl of hearts of palm linguine. And here's what I did. So I go to Trader Joe's and I get the, it's called traditional marinara. It has no added sugar in it. It has no additives at all. Just the, the fresh tomatoes and Italian herbs that they put in there. And then I added like 1/4 cup of that and 1/4 cup of the Walden Farms Alfredo sauce. Then I did fresh garlic and mushrooms and Italian herbs. It was spectacular. I put one thing about the palmini is you want to rinse it like for 5 minutes. So rinse it cold and then rinse it for a couple minutes hot, rinse it cold again. And then I'll just package it up in a container, whatever I don't use the servings. And then I'll use each serving at a different time. It has the texture of linguine. It virtually takes on the taste of whatever sauce you're making. So it's really awesome. Talk about volumizing your food. I had a pretty big plate of it. So if you guys have any other questions, please be sure to include them in the comments section so we get to answer them for you. And if you're watching this in the replay, of course, send us your questions. Dee and I will always answer them. If you want to belong to Dee's Facebook group for recipes, all you have to do is say either yes or recipe, and just comment that in the comment section, and automatically Facebook Messenger will send that to you. Okay, Dee, so let's talk about some of the other practices of how you can feel satisfied, ways that, some of the things I hear from my clients and a lot of the things I hear online are, I'm always starving. Let's talk about if you're starving. So you're now fully in ketosis, you're past day 5, you shouldn't be starving. So what are things people should be doing and looking for if they really are starving?
So if you think you're really starving, the first thing that we're going to ask you to do is be diligent in your journal. There might be something sneaking in. If you are having excess sugar and carbs, you may be getting that insulin spike without even realizing it. It keeps you in the hunger craving cycle. So check your sweeteners. Are you using too many sweeteners? We maximize 4 sweeteners a day. No more. That is our recommendation. I do see some recipes floating out there that in a 1 serving, it exceeds 4 sweeteners in 1 serving. If you are not sure what a serving of sweetener is, please ask, please check, and we will help you. We will help teach you how to read labels, serving sizes. Be aware that even though something is a 000, the FDA can still label it 0 carbs when there's really 9.999 carbs in there. Something to be aware of. Once we move past that, distinguishing true hunger and cravings can be very difficult, and it is very real, and it can take a little while to overcome. So One of the things that comes up is if you tell me you're truly hungry, I'm going to ask you if you ate more unlimited vegetables. And if you tell me you weren't hungry for a vegetable, then you're not hungry, you're craving. Vegetables, vegetables will curb true hunger. Now, some keeping it simple or making it more visually appealing, that also might help curb your hunger. So while one dieter, or like Melissa, will happily just eat that head of romaine lettuce and that takes care of it, maybe you're a pickle person, maybe you're a cucumber person. I love veggie salsa. So I take as many vegetables off the unlimited list that I can and chop them up into a salsa. Eat them on their own, especially if you have some onions or hot peppers in there, it can give it a really good zing. You can add that to any salad, any vegetable. You can even slice cucumbers and add a dollop to each one. There's ways to even volumize your unlimited veggie list. So if you're feeling truly hungry, that is the first place you need to go. And we also need to make sure that you really are getting in everything that you're supposed to be getting in a day. Are you truly getting your 4 cups? Did you measure 4 cups? Did you get your 4 cups of select vegetable? Did you have salad and unlimited veggies on top of that? Did you weigh and measure your 8 ounces of meat? Because you know what? Under eating is just as important as not overeating. You need to make sure you are getting your 8 ounces. Your body is going to be using it. It's going to be looking for it. So let's not undereat. Did we get our 3 IP packets in that day? If you have been prescribed more than 3 IP packets, that is individual to your lean mass number. It's not regular protocol. It is designed because you need it. Are you using your collagen products? Are you getting your Jello or Blue Cran in every second day or half a serving a day if you are truly hungry? 64 ounces of water, that's a minimum, not a maximum. Everybody's hydration levels are different. Do you need more hydration? And that is coupled with, if you are hungry, really do drink first because it's a sign of dehydration. So first line of defense, get extra water, mangosteen, tangerine. Are you using branched chain amino acids? And again, I can't speak enough to it. It's that journal. Are you writing it all down? Are you making that checklist? Did I get every single thing that I'm supposed to be getting in? My vitamins, very important to help satiate as well. We've taken away some items from you. We need to make sure your nutrients are being replaced. Your oil, your 2 teaspoons a day of oil. They are part of your ketosis cycle. They are good for digestion, for organ health, for elimination. Same with your veggies. Veggies, oil, and water. If you are having trouble, those are your go-tos, and we want to make sure that you're having them. Very important. So yeah, I'm a big veggie pusher. I really am. I could have my own roadside stand.
Yeah, so there never should be a reason that you are hungry, and if you are hungry, you need to be checking, are you eating at regular intervals? Because as Dee said, if you're under eating, it's just as bad as if you're overeating. Yeah. So you can overeat ideal protein and have too many ideal protein packets and not lose weight. You can overeat your protein and your body's going to use that fat before it uses your fat.
Yeah.
Enough, you can leave big huge gaps in your day. Maybe you have your shake at 7 in the morning and you went to a meeting. It's a challenge I have here in Silicon Valley. People sit in 4 and 5 hour meetings. Take your pre-made drink with you, take your non-restricted bar with you. You need to be eating every 3 to 3.5 hours, and those are the things that, number one, will keep you satiated, and number two, will keep you in ketosis and burning fat. And that's the whole point of this whole program, is that we're burning fat. All right. So if you have questions, we're going to be kind of closing up here in just a couple minutes. So throw them out to us. If I guess nobody was brave enough to come on and ask us any real questions. So Dee, tell us any other volumizing tips that you have, any other thoughts that you have for people to keep them satiated and hydrated and burning fat like crazy?
So if Melissa's still watching us, I'm actually going to get her to bring in cake. I made some cakes.
I saw that picture.
Today.
That looks like a real live bundt cake.
I just want to give you this side note too. I can help you with this too. If it makes a cake, it will make a muffin. If it makes a muffin, it will make a cookie. And we just might have to adjust it a little bit. So if you find a base recipe that you love, just know that you can almost turn it into any form. And adding veggies. So today's example doesn't actually have added vegetables in it, but we can add vegetables to virtually any of these recipes. And so here she comes, and so she's going to show you. Hello. She's going to show you some cake today.
Hard to see where we are then.
Yep.
Okay, so you got to bring it up. Bring it up. Oh, there it is. There it is. Up. Oh my goodness. Wow. Can you guys see what? Oh, wow. Okay, hold on a second. Let me put me. Let me see if I can get me smaller. Whoops, wrong way. There we go. Okay, there's the cake. Bring it up.
There you go. We've been sampling it. Oh, it's going to fall. Hold on. Don't go on the computer.
That looks awesome. That looks awesome, you guys.
Yeah. So when you see the cake, that whole entire, and it's a regular size bundt pan.
Okay, so how many servings are in there, Dee?
6.
6 servings. And what kind of cake is it?
That one is actually the vanilla chai latte.
Ooh, my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah. Makes a beautiful cake. And I actually have a condensed IP glaze that I am going to put up in recipe form for you all. And again, it's made with the multi-talented. They're all laughing at me because I called IP syrup multi-talented. But I'm going to show you how you can take a regular IP packet and maple syrup and make a beautiful glaze and filling for cakes, donuts, cookies, muffins. It's awesome. And you don't have to worry about, can I have that? Like, is it on protocol? It's all protocol. So again, that cake is a perfect example of volumizing your food. That bundt pan is a full-size bundt pan divided into, so I used 6 packets for the cake and 1 packet for the glaze. So I did use my box, but very often it brings us back to, there's always a special occasion. There is always something to celebrate, and people are always finding an excuse to deviate, to go off. Well, it was my birthday, or it was my husband's birthday, and then it's my anniversary, and then we had a wedding to go to, and then we had a celebration. We can make you things to keep you on track and in a large serving size. So for me, and it's just, again, this is just my design. I know people love their cookies. They love their wafer cookie. Well, I'd rather have a great big piece of, a 1/6 of that great big bundt cake than I would a little package of cookies. Is it wrong to enjoy those cookies? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But for me, the visual piece of that bigger bread or cake, it just automatically makes me feel more satisfied. And so for me, that's a coping technique. It's a strategy to satisfy my brain, because our brains are really powerful, really, really, really powerful, because they talk us into almost anything. So again, making a big cake like that, I can add, 3 cups of vegetables to that cake. We can add vegetables to almost anything, and it tastes wonderful. It adds moisture. And that was something that I wanted to touch on too. So say you have an IP pack that you don't really love. What are we going to do with it? What can I do with this? I've bought this and I don't know what to do with it. Ask us. Ask us how we can help you. Am I going to add less water? Am I going to add more water? Am I going to add more ice? Can it make a soup? Can I bake with it? Can I add veggies? Can I add it in a salad? You know, what do you like? What do you need? We'll help you use those up so that you're not feeling like you're wasting it. Or, and sometimes again too, just trying it in a different form just takes on a whole new, you know, taste bud sensation. We're looking for ways to enhance and make you enjoy your food. We want you to enjoy your food. We don't want you to feel that the losing phase is a sentence, right? It's really a great place to develop your love of certain food and vegetables. So we want to help you with that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. This is not, there's no end to the journey. So it's not like we're going to, you know, end this at a certain point and then go back to eating pizza and In-N-Out burger. So developing these different kinds of recipes that we know that 80% of the time we're substituting cauliflower for starches, and we're, you know, using almond flour instead of white flour. And we're suddenly learning how to do all these different things that we weren't taught how to do. Grandma didn't do them that way. Our moms didn't do them that way. So, but what we know now is we have the information on our blood sugar and why grandma had diabetes and hypoglycemia and had to shoot up with insulin. That was my grandma. Okay, so we have a couple of questions here. Patty says, do you have any canning recipes? We usually can a lot, so I don't want to add too much canning salt when making pickles, salsa, spaghetti sauce, etc. What are your thoughts?
Your canning recipes, as long as they don't have any unallowable ingredients. So for example, for phase one, when you're making homemade salsa, you would just exclude your onions in your homemade salsa and instead do a fresh salsa if you're using onions. You absolutely, I do have canning recipes. I for sure have a pickling and, garlic dills. I do have up on the page. One thing about salt. So when you're on protocol, we actually have removed a lot of the commercial salt from your diet. So the salt that you're getting from your food and salting your food, it's going to be okay. Those salted pickles or the salt that's in your canned salsa, or maybe your beans, whatever you enjoy to can, you're going to be okay. You're not going to, it's very rare that you're going to exceed a sodium amount on those items, as we've removed the rest of commercial salt from your diet. I encourage canning. We've actually talked about it many times. So we live, our clinic is located in the greenhouse capital of Canada. And so right now our greenhouses are up and producing fresh veggies again. And so we've actually talked about this, and we actually need to execute it. We would love to do a canning class. I think when you have, if you think of all the phase one allowable vegetables that you can can and have at your fingertips, it is amazing. Canned homemade tomatoes are the best. Homemade salsa is the best. My garlic dills are the best to me because, you know, I make what I love. I love pickled beans. You can pickle your beans. Vinegar is, you're allowed vinegar on phase one. You're allowed salt on phase one. You can make really amazing things. Another thing is, it's economical. If you've never canned before, take a peek at it, and very often at secondhand stores, thrift stores, you can buy canning supplies because somebody has cleaned out their grandparents' home or their mom's home, and they literally put canners and your jars in thrift stores. So it's and they're reusable over and over and over. You wash them and reuse. So I love canning. I encourage it. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
You made me think of something. I get asked this question all the time about sodium. Oh my God, look at the sodium levels in the ideal protein foods. And I'm like, look at the sodium levels that you never added up in all the food you ate in a restaurant and out of packages and everywhere else. How do you respond to that? Because I know our program is low sodium, but then, I'll have a client go to the doctor and the doctor will tell them, oh, geez, those products are high in sodium. How do you respond to that?
Well, if we're in office, I will actually take down the products on the wall like that have listed behind me and show them how much sodium is in them compared to regular commercial foods that they were eating. And I guarantee you there is always half, a third, a quarter, or none, like sodium in there. We do need sodium in our diet for basic function, but when we take away all our pre-processed foods, we are decreasing our sodium drastically. Melissa just wrote a comment to it. We still need about 2,000 milligrams per day. And without the sugar and insulin, you dump sodium with the water. So it's a really important point. I also want to speak to while you're on phase 1, anybody who's been on phase 1 or phase 2, have you gone out and eaten in a restaurant and chosen protocol food, like, say you just ordered a steak and veggie or a chicken breast and veggie, and then went home and was like, oh, I'm so thirsty. Oh, why am I so thirsty? I'll tell you why you're thirsty. It's because that whatever type of protein they had or veggies they had was sitting in a salt brine. They were sitting in a pre-packaged, pre-stored, won't go bad, sitting in salt. So if you cook that exact same meal at home, you won't get that same reaction. In fact, you probably would have had to add a little bit of salt for flavor. So yeah, and Melissa just commented again, a lemon wafer is 75 milligrams of sodium. It is very, very low. And we still do need sodium, just not commercially packaged.
People will mention about the chips to me. And, I'm not a chip eater. I know that our program is low sodium. They don't seem too salty to me, but and it's invariably the person that's on blood pressure meds, and then 4 months later, they're not on their meds anymore.
Yeah. So. And speaking to salt, I just have to do it. So if you come in and say, I was tired, I was dizzy, I was headachy, I was lethargic, I didn't know what was wrong with me, you probably needed some salt and water. You really did. You needed some electrolytes. So whether you had a little bit of salt on some cucumbers with water, or you had a mangosteen or tangerine, your body was needing some salt, was needing some hydration. So it's important. But yes,
I like the BCAAs. They really, give me energy and keep me hydrated, and they taste amazing. We have another question here from Tammy. She says, I much prefer the Walden Farms pancake syrup. Is that okay as long as it's within its serving size?
Absolutely. Yes, the Walden Farm syrups are absolutely allowable on the program. Again, just watch your serving size. I do believe the Walden Farms pancake syrup also has a generous amount. I do believe it is a 1/4 cup, but it's sister products like your caramel dip or your chocolate dip, I do believe is it 2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons, yeah.
So you just need to make sure that you're just reading and understanding your labels on what a serving size is. Granular stevia, granular Splenda, those types of things. Again, you need to be looking at your packaging to see what a serving size is. They count. Walden Farms creamer in your coffee, they count. Anywhere where you're adding something that's not a whole food, you're going to be looking to it or treating it as an extra, as a sweetener. Very important to note that. Mints, candies, sugar-free ice chips, pure gums. You still need to track and count those as well. They are not freebies, and sometimes it's going to be the first place that we look. If you are chewing 12 pieces of gum a day and saying, I'm hungry, yep, you're getting a little bit too much in the form of sweeteners. It's keeping that craving going. It's important. Sugar.
And it's keeping you out of ketosis.
It is.
I'm a very traditional coach, and the way that I was taught was there are no sugar-free gum or mints. If you need something, have some sugar-free Banaka spray. We don't do sugar-free gum or mints. And the bottom line is every one of those gums or mints are a carb. So if you have 20 mints a day, you have 20 carbs extra a day, and you times that by 7, you are not going to lose weight. And it's all over some sugar-free mints. I had a client who used to suck on, he would go to these long, like 6-hour meetings, and he would suck on sugar-free candy, and he couldn't figure out why he couldn't lose weight. And it literally was 0 candies, and it doesn't make sense because it says 0, but it's really not 0. So really understanding that.
Sugar-free ketchups, sugar-free barbecue sauces. Can you use them? Yes, you have to respect the serving size. And when they're not rated, and very oftentimes people forget to journal those items as well. Well, I only used a little bit, but everybody's little bit is different. Again,
measure.
Also, when I get nervous, I say and so I'm always worried that I'm going to offend somebody when I'm about to approach a subject. Water enhancers, Neos, Dasanis, all those squirty things that you're putting in the water, I honestly give them a big 2 thumbs down. They are also they're a chemical concoction, and they're a sweetener. And you can't have 2, 3, 4, 6. You can't enhance your water with those 4 times a day and then have barbecue sauce and ketchup and a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. And I had bad breath, so I chewed gum all day. And this program just isn't working for me.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And that's why Dee, as a coach, those are out. They're off the table. And if you want to go back to that stuff in maintenance, that's your deal. But I say get away from all of those little fakey little things that are holding you up. They're not only holding you up in weight loss, they're holding you up in real life. And just getting rid of those old bad habits and move on. Drink some water, put lemon in your water, lime, cucumbers, just drink real stuff. And that's my advice.
It is, and it's great advice. And you know what? Slicing whole lemons and limes, we don't squeeze the juice out of them. Just put them in your water. The natural essence, even from the rind, will give you flavoring. Hot teas, your branched chain amino acid, cold or hot, delicious. And it's very flavorful. So you can use a little goes a long way. You can make 3 wonderful cups of hot branched chain amino acids from one packet. Spread it out during your day. If you need your water enhanced, mangosteen, tangerine. If it's too strong, add more water, vice versa. Mix the packs together. Hot Jello is the bomb. You don't have to make it. You can drink your Jello. Again, hot or cold. We always want to present ideas to you that are going to help keep you satisfied, but again, stay within protocol. Extras are tough ones, and a lot of time we're not telling you no to make your life miserable. We're telling you no because we are invested in you. We're invested in your success. We want you to be successful no matter what stage of the protocol you are on. The method is given to us as prescribed for a reason. They know what can slow you down. They know what will keep you out of ketosis or kick you out of ketosis. If you're eating too much fat, you're not burning your own fat. It is, and we're taught how to execute it, but there are people so much smarter than I who have designed this protocol. We've just been taught it. So we need to respect it.
Absolutely. Well, we have been online for an hour now. An hour with Dee goes so fast. We hope you guys have learned a lot. If you're watching this in the replay, just send us your questions. Dee and I will continue to go back through and answer your questions. Yep. Thank you so much. Volumize your food. Make your plate 80% vegetables. You can have a fabulous meal every meal. Use those unlimited vegetables. Have a fabulous big salad at lunchtime. Have wonderful vegetables at dinner time. And make that 80% of what's going on your plate. And you will feel success happening, and you will get to your goal. And keep watching, share these broadcasts with others, and be a part of the community. The more you surround yourself with like-mindedness, the more you're going to be successful. Yeah. Dee, do you have a couple of last words that you'd like to say?
Sure. Enjoy the way that your food looks, tastes, and smells. Sit down at the table to eat whenever possible. Sit down, set your table nice, eat off of nice dishes. Do not be on your phone or the computer. You know, put some nice background music on. Enjoy some separate time conversation. Talk about the food you're eating. Talk about what we're going to make tomorrow, what we really enjoy. Add herbs and spices to your food to make it smell appealing. It's a huge factor. So our site is it's responsible for 75% of our perception. So if something looks good, it might even taste better than it really does. So presentation is really important. Put your spices to really good use, especially when volumizing up that food. Color, color, color. Color is so important. Even if it's just little garnishing, think red radishes, purple cabbage, colored peppers, things like that. They all count, even if there's just small amounts, to spice up to the viewing beauty of your food. I was a little lost for words there. So and if you have any questions, please ask. We will do our best to help. If you're struggling with certain foods and ways to prepare them, and we didn't even get a chance to talk about the unused veggies on our select list. So we might have to do that another day, talk about some of the less popular ones, how we incorporate those, how you try them. I love the question about the palmari. You know, I was actually on Amazon seeing if I could purchase that because we don't have them yet in Canada, and you know, I'm so antsy to try them because I know that they're going to be wonderful.
We have to order them on Amazon. Also, they're only in Florida in the store. That's the only place. So yeah, I ordered them online. Actually, Palmini asked me to do some videos and more posts for them, so they sent me some free stuff. So Dee, you can send me your address and I'll tell them to send you some.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll have to talk about those things again. And anybody who is watching this or watching it live or in the replay, even Renee, just listening to you talk about the palmari dish that you created, you know, that inspired me. I have to try that. I'm going to try it that way. It sounded so good. So don't be scared to share. Even if you think somebody shared it before you or shared it in a different way, or yeah, I seen that somewhere one time. It doesn't matter. It might not be the same. It might be different. You know, I was making recipes 10 years ago that I see are revived and touted as, oh, I made this new amazing recipe. And I just smile because I'm like, oh yeah, I've been enjoying that for years. Or, you know, it's okay. But something that you like, and you share it or you take a picture of it and you say, hey, you know, this is what I had today. It might pique somebody's interest to say, oh, that looks awesome. I want to do that. How did you do that? Again, back to that helping community. Doesn't matter if you're a coach, a dieter, doesn't matter what phase in the protocol that you're on. Many of the things that you make and create in phase 1 are absolutely building in phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. They can be used forever. We're looking for, I would rather have a chicken soup wrap any day than bread now. Honest. It's one of my favorites. So looking for, you know, long-term maintenance. So share.
No, I'm totally with Dee. When we share, we create community. And we put something out there and then someone else puts something back, and then pretty soon, you know, we're helping other people help themselves, and they're helping us help ourselves, and we're making new online friends and sharing, and that's what this whole thing is all of this community. Okay, so everybody, if you want to belong to Dee's recipe group, all you have to do is type in the word recipes. And I am developing a new group of people that want to be kind of in what I'm going to call my inner circle, and you'll have access to me and some different things I'm going to be doing in this later in this year. You can just comment your email address, and if you would like me to include you, I will send you the details on my inner circle group that will be on Facebook. Looking forward to seeing all of you again. And tomorrow I am on with Susan Radway, and we have a great program for dieters. We're going to be talking about maintenance, your long-term relationship in maintenance. We're going to be talking about how we keep all of those bad habits away. And Susan is a one of the expert coaches in the U.S., and it's a real privilege for me to get to talk with her. So that is tomorrow, and I will be putting out a post as to the timing of that. I think it's around 1 p.m. I think it's 1 p.m. I don't know. I'll let you know. Anyway, Dee, thank you so much. And everybody, thank you for being here with us. Send us your likes, your love, share the post, send us your questions. We will be happy to I'm sorry, I'm down here reading. And yes, Cynthia, you can watch the whole thing in the replay. It will be here. So talk to you guys soon. Bye, Dee. I always love to hang out with you.
Thank you, Renee. It's always a pleasure. I always enjoy this forum. I enjoy listening and watching everybody's replays, even if I can't watch it live. This is just one of my favorite methods of sharing ever. So I thank you. I thank you for letting me be part of it.
One of these days, Dee is going to come and we're going to cook live together. It's going to be super fun. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.